Yes, how you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Definitely glad to have you out today. This is gonna be a good one, so for sure get your pen and paper and get your water. Oh, before I forget, and you know I always forget, right? Because I always have fun working with you all. Make for sure that you click, I believe, up, bottom, left or right, or your left or right, wherever it is. Hit the subscription button so you can make for sure that, of course, you can get all our new lessons and everything we have coming for free. So now, as I said, get your pen and paper. Guess what? Let's get started. Now, the topic today is a part 2. How to buy a home fast at the best price, part 2. So, you can go to how to buy a house fast, part 1, as well as we talked about selling one as well, and how to improve your credit in 30 days. All of these all kind of relate to each other. So now let's get to part 2. We want to talk to you that when you are getting ready to, as a buyer, to work with an agent, it is 3 types of agencies that you can have. An agency just means the agreement that you have between the brokerage firm, and then they will have a designated buyer agent to work with you. And so we just want to talk about the 3 types, not spend too much time, as we want to get into the numbers of how to buy a home fast, and at the best price, as we talked about in part 1, and how to improve your credit in 30 days. So you have something called the exclusive buyer agency, okay? Number 2, you have something called the exclusive agency buyer. And then you have something called the open buyer agency. Real quick, what I really suggest, if you want to be a professional, I say this all the time, be a professional, hire a professional like me, and get professional results. And so what you want to do, you want to make sure you decide what type of buyer agent you want to work with. Can you go out and look for homes and don't have an agent? Absolutely, because the listing agent will be happily to show you a home. But ladies and gentlemen, they are not working on your behalf. They're working on the behalf of the seller. So you want to have an agent that's working on behalf with you to help you quarterback, navigate, facilitate through the process. So now let's just get to it. So you got exclusive buyer agency. What this is probably, I'm gonna say, at least 80-90% of the buyer agency agreements you're gonna sign with a realtor. Oh, before I get any started, for the people that don't know who I am, again, my name is Fahim Muhammad, the Freedom Coach. I am a chartered senior financial planner. I am a licensed real estate broker, mortgage broker, insurance broker, as well as a certified estate advisor and a trained credit improvement officer as well. Also, I am also a sponsoring broker and managing broker, which means I own my own real estate company and manage it. Also, I own my own commercial mortgage company and partner in a mortgage company. So basically, information I'm sharing with you is not something I just heard, it's something that I do. But the most important thing I want to share with you, and again, not to impress you, but to impress upon you, I'm a federal licensed mortgage loan officer instructor, as well as a state licensed instructor for real estate. And I happen to have the #1 Black African American financial school in the Midwest in about 5 states, and one of the top in the country. So I'm sharing this information with you, again, not to brag or boast, but to bring to your attention. I kind of know what I'm talking about, right? Back to the party. All right. So let's go where we was talking about exclusive buyer agency. 80-90% of the time, this is the one that you sign, and this one says that your the designated buyer agent is working with you. No matter who else that may bring some information or property to you, this person's in charge, pretty much quarterbacking, but most important, they still going to be compensated. Why you want to have an agreement? Again, you want to know what everybody's supposed to do. Inside of this buyer, this exclusive buyer agency also talks about, are you paying a retainer up front? If you pay a retainer up front, is this coming out of the closing, or is it part of their fee for starting doing business with you? that varies from company to company. In the real estate financial field, can nobody get together and say, everybody do this, or this is the rule? No, each individual brokerage has their right to custom their policy, so it could be the policy for everybody at that brokerage. So I want to make sure you clarify that. But what's big and huge about this, you know who the designated person going to be working with you. You know this is their primary function and job as your exclusive buyer agency. So that means no matter who brings your property, family, friend, stranger, or another agent, they get compensated. Next one, you have exclusive agency buyer. With the exclusive agency buyer, then if you find a home without them, then they don't get compensated for that. I would say maybe 40%, 50% of so people may have this. First come, first serve. Who, if you find a place, then you have the right to continue without them. I don't normally suggest that, given the disclaimer as I talked about and how I buy a home fast in part 1, right? You want to make sure, again, be a professional, hire a professional like me, and get professional results, right? And so that's that one. So the bottom line with that exclusive agency buyer is that whoever finds between the agent or yourself as a buyer, then those are people responsible for the compensation. Then you have the open buyer agency. The open buyer agency means it's just get in. Everybody fighting with something. It don't matter if 20 other agents bring it to you. You find it. You got an open agreement with just one agency. You got to have another one with another one. One of the reasons we don't, and normally you may only find 10, 20%, if that much, people have that. And the reason why, because you don't want to, as a professional, to be wasting your time. Plus, you don't want to be wasting your time getting different information from all kinds of different people, and sometimes too much information could be discombobulated. Okay, so again, in review, you got the 3 buyer agency, exclusive buyer agency, which is what I suggest, and hold your agent accountable to making sure they're doing the best thing to help you buy a home. Number 2, exclusive agency buyer, which means you can find one. If you do, then the agent does not do any compensation, unlike the exclusive buyer agency. Doesn't matter who find it, or the open buyer agency, which is very little people normally do that, but it is some cases where it may be possible, feasible, and an option to do that. All right, so now you done decided, you learned information from part 1. Now you have signed probably your exclusive buyer agency. So now, as we talked about some other things about how to find a home, what we want to talk about now is once you done found a home, how do you know you are putting in the best offer? So part 1 was more kind of how to buy a home fast, and this part kind of mainly is the best offer. It's something called a CMA. It is used for sellers, but also it is used for buyers, okay? So what you want to, CMA stands for comparative market analysis. And the key thing about this, as we call it the Power of 3, it's made up of, let me bring this down a little bit. All right, so it is made up of, hold on, ladies and gentlemen, we'll make sure you know got extra sticky, right? Got the extra sticky stuff. All right, extra sticky for you. All right, so what it's made up of, a good CMA, you could do one category, or your agent can do all 3, okay? And what I mean by all 3 categories, you got sold, you got active, and you got did not sell. So these same areas of interest is looked at for the seller, but also looked at for the buyer. What's the difference? The seller is trying to sell the house at the max price, and you as a buyer trying to get in at a good price, okay? And so that's the difference. So same instrument, same deal, but again, based on how you put the numbers, it's gonna be used for different ways. And so with this example, you're looking at the house that you wanna get. Whatever the house that we talked about in part 1, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, basement, family room, 2-car detached garage, front yard, backyard, half a mile from the expressway, got a school in a park district within walking distance. Whatever that you said, all those things been put in. And so now your exclusive buyer agency can give you pull up a CMA on the phone and give you the numbers. So it'll say, okay, this house is just like the one you're talking about buying, Paul and Paulette. Who is Paul and Paulette? I guess I just made that up, right? Just a good example, right? Paul and Paulette. See, that's why I tell you, I forget all kind of stuff, right? So before I forget, make for sure you look up to the bottom left or right, crisscross, wherever it's at. Make sure you hit the subscription button. And again, for the people that stay to the end, I am going to talk about, of course, a bonus, how to get I'm making it happen, zero to hero, how to build wealth with money and real estate investment books for free. So this is going to be huge as we get ready to close out. So all that information was put in the system, and now you have sold, active, and expired. Now, again, I talked about the power of three. For the sake of the example, we just have one up here, but we can act like they was three of the same thing. But you want to normally have, write this down, you all. You want to have 3 comparable comps, which is going to be like properties, first thing. Number 2 is going to be within the same building or same division if it's a condo, or within the same block, no more than a mile out in each direction. And you want to go for the yesterday to no more than a year out. These are the numbers that's used to get the value regarding that. So with that, we got sold 110,000, 125,000 for the same kind of house you're looking for active, and what expired is 120,000. So now, if you're looking not to sell, now you're looking to buy. You got to think, what would be a good price that you're looking to put in an offer for a house active 125,000? What would be a good price to put in? Some people would say, well, I will put in 120 since it's 125. Absolutely not if you're to buy it. Absolutely not. I wouldn't start there, okay? You can always go up. Very rarely do you come down. And so what we want to share with you is that if they've been sold, even though the value could be 125, I would at least start off at 110 minimum or below. I definitely wouldn't start off with the maximum active, because this is what the market is showing. And so even just because somebody is asking for that, that doesn't mean that you have to pay for that, because remember this, everything negotiable, okay? You should be able to go with 1 to no more within 3 offers. Write that down. Make 1 to within 3 offers, and that's between an offer, and then you got to make a counter offer and possibly another one. Normally after 3 times, if y'all can't come to an agreement on the numbers, it is probably no deal, but 3 is pretty much a good suggestion from there. And normally you can ask for the agent to ask for them to give a counter offer if they don't like the offer that you give, right? If that's the agreement that you have. But I would do at least, of course, a 110 on there, and you will be able to show that, okay? Now, is there some reasons why you may go higher than the property's been sold? Sometimes if you are asking for the seller, y'all, I'm giving y'all all kind of game and goodies now, right? Y'all, somebody send me some banana pudding, okay? Y'all send some banana pudding. I like banana pudding, right? So I'm giving you all kind of goodies. But if you are asking the seller to pay any what is called points or a percentage toward the closing costs, sometimes you may buy it at the higher price than you want to offer, because you're asking them to pay it back, because you never know what their bottom line number is. But again, my suggestion is put in a 110, still ask for your 2 or 3 points between you and your agent, whatever y'all discuss. Let the chips fall where they fall. Either they're going to come back and say, well, I do 115, giving you 2 points, or I give you 110 and no points. And you got to make that decision. And so those points are just monies that help you bring less money to the table in closing. And so you should already know from part number 1, sitting down with a mortgage loan officer professional, your pre-qualification, your pre-approval, and some estimated numbers. So this is how you buy a home, number 1, fast and get it for the best price. Is using all the knowledge and the lessons from how to buy a home fast from part 1, and making for sure using the information in part 2, have your exclusive buyer agency agreement done, make sure that you get your CMA done, make sure you look at the most important for you is what's been sold, as well as the homes on the market, how new they on the market. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do that, you can buy a home fast and at the best price. So ladies and gentlemen, as I want to share with you, all you need to do to get ready to get, of course, a copy of the book, which is pretty much taken 30 years, and I did it in a user-friendly format. That's why we have multiple books that I have and multiple class and lessons we have. So if you want to get the book for free, go to makingithappenzerotohero.com, where you pay for the shipping and handling, we pay for the books, both book volume. Make sure you go on there. That's makingithappenzerotohero.com. Order the books. We'll make for sure we pay for the books, you pay for the shipping and handling. And so what I want to say, of course, in closing, as a last nugget, ladies and gentlemen, this is huge. The first thing, if you want to buy your home fast and at the best price, first thing, make a decision. Realize over the next 30 to 60, max 90 days, you would have some level of inconvenience. And what I mean by some level of inconvenience, you would have to turn in possibly some additional documentation, because they want to validate everything is the way it's supposed to look. Because when you get a loan, they have to be able to make sure they have supporting documentation to meet the federal guidelines and investors guidelines that they going to sell the mortgage to. And so if you're getting 110,000, 200,000, $250,000, would you agree you have the right to ask some people some questions? Absolutely. And so that's the most important thing, is make the decision. Again, sit down with a mortgage licensed professional, get pre-qualified and pre-approved. Number 3, make sure that you have a real estate agent professional that really works with buyers. Any agent can do it, but sometimes people that work with buyers, they are more patient, more knowledgeable, and they are willing and able to help you facilitate in that particular process. So ladies and gentlemen, hey, this is a good time to get it. There's no better time, because as they say, hey, the supreme being, God, ain't making no more land, right? So you want to make for sure that you definitely get your own home first and get some investment property. And as one of our presidents said, which is one of the quotes that I use for business, good things come to those who wait, but only what's left over from those who hustle. My name is Fahim Muhammad, the Freedom Coach. Freedom is no longer a vision, it's a mission. Free yourself and your dreams to follow. Run that. Y'all have a good one.